why would I only take money now? All along,
you had all the chance.
But abaningi babone ama-opportunity ayinyakanyaka yokuthi bazothola yeah. And kwaba worse ngoba i-ANC before 1994 imali besizithola kuma-organization asupportayo. Most of them, all of them were international. Yes. All of that, honestly, is blamable on corruption. And just really taking your eye off the ball.
Hola, familia.
Hi, this is James Noble.
This is Salom Ekanube.
Yo, this is David Mashamela. You're on
Happy Days.
Happy Days?
Happy Days.
Happy Days podcast.
It's a happy day to have a good day.
So it's Happy Days on our podcast, and it's the last episode for 2024. I mean, it's 2023. Oh, I'm just ahead, you know. It's crazy. 2023. Oh, this is our last episode, and we just wrapping the year in style. And by the way, it's a good day to have a happy day. I have to emphasize that one. I have Ubaba, and I look up to him all the times.
Ufaka ikepisi. Uma ulapho sukuthola amakhamera alena ANC uthi ngizokubona kanjani uyafika uyahlala yazi.
Oh, yasesiyaphambana ngitho.
Nginaki ngiyabona ukuthi lo muntu ohleli la yini kangaka ngayo.
Ngithokoza Mavuso. Walokukhuluma nefoni ungasanginayo. But how rich? Sushinji.
No, ngithi mina ngilindu rich.
But at least they change in a good way.
In a very good way. And I'm very impressed with what you're trying to do.
Yeah, no. Thank you so much.
Abantu bahlupheka kangaka these days. Holding one job is fine.
Yeah.
But if you can do something interesting,
yes.
Not only ifagimali.
Yeah, I always say start with the love.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you love
the labor of love.
Yeah, the labor of love, you know, to engage with people. Yeah, so thank you so much. So the platform is definitely just to make sure that we celebrate life.
You've done
quite a lot. I mean, talking from the 60s, even before I was born, you were still, you know, just doing wonderful things in this world. You know.
You would have joined Lombuto 60 years ago. I joined in 1958. Then you sent Kamana, a high school, Roma, a Freiheit. A very strict, very good education. Namanje, Basa, Puma, tops. Nuns were called, Catholic.
Okay.
They really have good records.
That is in the KZN.
It's a KZN, a Freiheit.
A Freiheit. Because I know you were born somewhere in Edendale. It's just next to Pietermaritzburg.
Outside Pietermaritzburg.
Yeah.
And Edendale, you know, it was the first place, Natal, before KZN. He under a colony of 1851 when Obaba Mkulu Batena Umhlaba. They were the first Africans to be allowed to do that.
Okay. So it's got a rich history when you
it is. Edendale has a very rich history. They established the Sonto Lapo, Baka Iskolo. So by the time Gufigabo 1900, so we've even gone overseas. Abantu bethu labo babamkhulu bebakha izinqola, you know, transport yangaleso sikhathi. My great grandfather, bebakha ilento, will specialist yokwenza amavili.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
specialist.
A wheelwright.
Wheelwright.
I think that's what they used to call him.
Yeah.
Kodwa abanye nje kuleyo group yase Edendale yayifundiswa amakholwa bahlangane nabo le elento eMpharane endaweni is close to Ifixburg now, Free State. Naleso sikhathi beku izwe labeSuthu. So bahamba ke ngento yentshumayelo nabo baze bafika eEdendale. Uma befika behlala phansi kodwa no sifuna ukuthenga kudala slow sihamba because bese Swaziland beyofaka ivangeli khona kucele uSobhuza first Sobhuza number 1 uthe uma eshona kwanombango lapha eNdunkulu yakhona wathola ukuthi omunye walabafana belwe befuna ubukhosi wabaleka wangena emission eyakhiwe yilabantu abahamba nobomkhulu bami hayi bamlandela kwathiwa no ayikho indaba yokuthi refugee umuntu umebaleka ezongena siyamfuna mkhiphe abafuna abathwala imithwalo bahamba. That's why bagcina baphelele Edendale.
Okay. But you move from Edendale to because you were actually you were staying with your grandma in the early years.
Yeah. Edendale ngizalelwa khona. I think besinabo 5 years, benginabo 5 years or so. Uma abazali bami behlukana.
Okay.
So ngayohamba nomama. Saya Newcastle.
Oh yes.
Ndaweni ekuthiwa kuseMasondela. Emasondeza.
Yeah,
Long before.
Masondeza.
Ukuthiwa kuseMasondeza phela Masondela ukhona umuntu wesizulu
Yeah,
uyafaka uMasondeza. Angithi uyazi labantu abasebenza amalgamated ukuthi kuthiwa yini. But sisebenza amagamented.
Amagamented.
So namasondeza ke kwento njalo. So nabo bebene farm enkulu so ngakhulela khona ke kumkhulu wami umungibuza nje ukuthi politics ingene kuphi ingene kancane ngoba umkhulu bekuwumuntu ofunda amaphepha kwakukhona kubekuthiwa iTorch enye kubathi Indian Views efunda ngento zasemhlabeni ukuthi kuhamba kanjani so inkomo zakhe yazi ukuthi yini benesipani seinkomo mhlawumbe zibe 14 ayibophelayo ukuthi sidonse inqola inkabe yakhe ngiyakhumbula uze kwenamhlanje the one i4 os yakhona iFolice i4 os beku Stalin Stalin enye eboshwa no Bismarck.
It's not a political movement.
Kukhona uGoering kukhona uVan Bork. So kukhona no Churchill. Inkomo zakhe zonke lezi uyazi uyabonisa lo muntu ukuthi yena uyalandela ukwenzekani so nami kancane mangikhula ngithi kwakuyini lento omkhulu wabani labo Churchill.
And I know later on when we continue with our discussion, obviously you will also emphasize that there are certain phrases that as Winston Churchill that you're so much in love with, especially now lately from what happened politically.
Ngiyazithanda kodwa angimthanda uChurchill.
Umthanda uChurchill.
Kwakuyi-imperialist enkulu.
Okay.
Yazi kuthe uma iBritain be-colonize India, njengoba be-colonize South Africa, they colonized a lot of countries in the world. Ma abantu sebelwela i-freedom yabo. uChurchill was a very good war minister, but so when the Indians wanted independence in 1947, I did not become the first minister of Her Majesty the Queen in order to preside over the dissolution of the British Empire.
So can you imagine that?
No. This is how the struggle started. Amabhunu la alayikhaya abona ukuthi uSmith uyahlanya uma engayihandlishi kahle lento usebenza nabantu abama equivalent amabantu stand but waseZimbabwe kodwa nokukhuluma nabantu aba-involved ozaphu nabozana not ukuthi amabhunu ebefuna abethanda babona ukuthi uma singalwa thina masilwa sijoyinana nabozaphu nabozana sizogcina sila elweni eLimpopo sizongena eSouth Africa. So they wanted to stop us from coming, but force uSmith ukuthi aka-recognize ama-liberation movement so that kuzoba khona ama-negotiations ngoba ume ba-kept her out angeke go-Kalisburg baze baphume sekunjani. Forster was the prime minister, no khulumani nabo, not because ethanda ukuthi kube ne-freedom but to try and stop us ngoba ke vele ngo-1967 sangena ngaselentweni ematebeleleni sizala ngisho ukuthi ngoba ngiphambuka kangaka ngithi nathi la eSouth Africa singathi kumna ngakwa behave properly ningenzi izinto ezizoba problem izoba iproblem yethu so yekani corruption yekani ukuthini so a big country like South Africa can actually if you're doing the right thing influence the politics of a country that is dependent on South Africa and Zimbabwe depends very much on South Africa so for exports and for imports
but abantu abathandiweyo kakhulu Mavuso indaba yokuthi kahle kuyenza yini kwamanye country ukuthi you find South African bubbly parza that influx yenzakalayo from your South Western Township your just ama-township lawa khona nje othembisa njengoba phela bonke phela in Pakistan can you do that?
No lalela bahlukahlukene abantu abala kukhona abafika ngoba bengama-refugees eZimbabwe ngabo-1982 kwakunengxabano enkulu between uMgabe noNkomo bahamba really bashaya kwakuthiwa igugurahundi kususa izibi into enjengaleyo yena nge-army kwabulawa abantu abaningi babaleka bezangaza so uma uvumela umuntu ukuthi abe yi-refugee kunama-right athile omnika wona the only right angenayo i-right yokuvota political right but especially in South Africa because akukho ama-refugee camps uma umvumela umuntu ukuthi angenela uzophila kanjani bengasebenzi so you've got to find a way of integrating exactly that's the right word integrating the local if they are good entrepreneurs njengoba ngizokutshela ufuna ukukhipha kule nqondo ekhaya nginendlu yokuvakasha ngelila ngifuna iplumber ukuthi izofixa mhlawumbe kunuka ama-toilet kunenzo ngi-advertise plumber please izani nizobheka bese niyakhota three Zimbabweans will respond maybe one South African fike bakhopha ibheke into bakhothe baphindele emuva ufaka ama-quotation athi well unless ufuna ukuthi ke ngibe uFather Christmas ngizothatha i-quotation serious ngeke ukuthi wena ufuna ukungicharge 100 omunye uzongicharge 50 ngithi ngizothatha yakho because we South Africa but sometimes abekithi abantu they don't even come back kwenza ama-quotation but I have even ignored the price sometimes ngithatha South Africa ngimthathe angifuna ukugeneralize ngoba maningi ama-South Africa asebenza kahle but mina into engiyaziyo ukuthi uma uhambile uphuma ezweni lakini uzama ukusebenza double hard ngoba ayikho into engayenza so no ngiyayibona into njengalezi zama-Pakistan no so anything abayenza illegally kufuneka baboshwe badeportwe okunye ababoshwa because babribe amaphoyisa sebebanjiwe abantu ngoba behayiza and so on okunye but benza ibulk mina nawe masingaba i-threesome mina nginengadi wena ula eJoburg uma uthenga kimi masithenga in bulk kuzoba cheaper than ukuthi uthenga so some of what these Pakistanis or other people are doing is that but bayaganga futhi I don't want to lie ngithi if you catch abantu abebenikwe permission yokuhlala la beGhana. In any country, you have the right to kick them out of the country. Bafake ejele uma beqeda ukuphuma ejele.
So when I there as refugees,
Hayi abaningi
running away from
no abasen oqala really ungasuka le Pakistan uzokuthi lonke lamazwe uzofika la. But so the government must be very careful about how they handle that.
Because the influx, it says, by 10 bafikile batshela labantu ukuthi ayizakhipha.
Oh yeah. Philwa kamnandi la.
Ngathi ziyakhipha labantu balahlile la.
No.
Abantu balahlile labantu obviously they mean government ilahlile.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think they are documented.
No, yeah, you know lapha ngingasebenza Home Affairs now. It's bulula ungena. It's not just with the Home Affairs officials as the corrupt song is called. The border, akululanga upatrol ama-borders for any country. So abanye bangena not through the borderline, because imifula bangena. So you can't blame Home Affairs.
You talk a lot about maladministration, the organization now, which led you to even resign in just the start of the month. So, what do you think is lacking?
Kuningi man, you know, ngashona ilanga, but before 1994, uJona ANC, especially after saying Benio, illegal, it was a criminal offense, bosh. So bekungena umuntu vele one aim yokuthi ufuna ukulwela inkululeko. Any member othatha risk bazi ukuthi so uzobanjwa ifamily yakho ixoshwe emsebenzini abantwana bangakwazi ukuya esikolweni and so on. A lot of the earlier people be-ANC bebengene really bezimisele ukuthi whatever the difficulties sifuna ukulwela inkululeko. Almost fast forward of 1994, ANC is by government. Then there was nothing wrong with it. He recruited more people.
Yes.
But abaningi abantu abangene after 1994, abaningi, but I'm always careful of not sweeping all umuntu umthanyelo leto. Very many good people are joining afterwards. Baba, Nelento, Bemisel, and they're very good members of the ANC. But abaningi babone ama opportunity ayinyakanyaka yokuthi bazothola yeah. And kwaba worse ngoba i-ANC before 1994 imali besizithola kuma organization asupportayo. Most of them, all of them were international because they were mase switcha over singena government iyaphela le mali yokusupporta i-ANC. Into kokufanele yeah, but ANC now is in government, but in a structure sayo say organization. So ngomthetho akufanele usebenzise imali ka-government ukwenza into ze-ANC. Uma nje uminister kuthiwa une-meeting PE as a minister, thatha itikiti lika-government uhamba for umsebenzi we-ANC, hayi God, awuthinti imali kahulumeni uhamba ngalento. I wonder which bangaki abenze njalo.
That's the question, a big one. Yeah.
I just wonder bangaki. So ukube sathi uma singena sathuma lo Mandela lo owayethandwa yibo bonke abantu emhlabeni, o businessmen, ama leaders, sathi ndoda sesingena ku government sifuna ukuhlukanisa imali ye government from imali ye ANC. Sifuna ukuba sinama land or branches all over the country. And this guy is gaining something. Abengabuya really nemali enkulu, easily $1 billion kalula. Leyo mali bizothathwa ineka ama managers, fund managers, kuthiwa manager land lama fund. ANC bisinokuyokhala ithi budget yethu kulenyanga is 200 sinike but don't run. We should not run that business ourselves. Konke lento Ford Foundation or foundation amaningi imali zabo bazakha because bayakwazi ukuzilenda kubantu you make an interest out of abantu ba-investor baz-investor different kinds of properties but i-foundation ibisaba nemali nje kuthiwa yini le yami ye-world Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize will continue for the next 100 years and more. In abantu ama-prize, however much, because banama investment amaningi abawenzile, but angene kule foundation ngibisinika ama-causes. Nathi besingaba ne-fund enjengaleyo. Si-investe ey'ntweni ey'ningi ukuthi imali etholakalayo finance i-ANC. Ungathi wena ngoba unikwe i-job uthi ya ngizakunika 20% mina ANC uma ninginika le-tender.
So iqala lapho
nalo 20% oyishoyo mhlawumbe ayisafiki nokufika. So but of course umunika usho ukuthi unika ngoba urobile ungipay tax, not corruption directly, but uyazi uzothi mina ngimember ANC siyabonga ukuthi seniqalile nifikile masithola ilento siyazi ukuthi nifuna imali yokusiza abantu mina uma ngithola ukuphumelela ngizokwenza donation, it's just a donation. So iqala kanjalo you end up zonke ley'nto eceleni. So umbuzo wakho uthi what has happened? Yaqala eli lento yokuthi abantu balineke bafake izandla. Angizukhuluma-ke ngamagama abantu but khona
bayazazi ukhona wayemuntu omkhulu wahamba waya le Mpumalanga wayothenga i-license yokudrive awunje bambamba kukhona imali yake yafakwa la kuthiwa yokupromota i-HIV/AIDS programs. Wayithatha uminister wakhona wayishaya ngombongeli wabona isitimela wayenza lento mabebheka imali ne-message yakhona abantu abasebenza kulento ayibalance lento ama-communication element kwavela ingxaki kwafika indaba yama-arms deal yabona ke leyo yenzeka engakangeni nokungena uZuma. Mandela was in charge but Thabo was running the country. Mandela wayishilo ukuthi mina 110 ngiyaphuma. So but uma beza i-government befuna uku-upgrade weapon system na yonke ANC, and they went out to buy really lots of weapons. Okokuqala nje ngokukhuluma iqiniso ibisiphelile impi. Exactly. Ubani enemy yethu la ukuthi ungafaka. Why not ufaka imali engawo ukuthi uqede wonke ama-toilets ama-pit latrine ufaka amanzi Ufundisa athenga ibhamu esontweni amathenga amabhayibheli. Wenze njani?
Exactly. So oqala nje kungafanele expendwe imali engaka, but ngaphandle kwalokho corruption eyenziwa lapho. Man, afika lamandiya athatha umfana wakhe athatha ihlobo zakhe babanike ama-position kuma-companies abo as board members yonke lento washo yena umsholozi wathi umfana wami begraduatile la akekho umuntu wamnika umsebenzi bafika abantu bazomsiza bamnika ilento so
ukuthi umfana bengekho into azoyenza
lo mfana I wouldn't be surprised with 3 billion. So into njani balula one time wathi ngithuthele kabi mangitshelwa umuntu weguta ukuthi mina ngizokwenziwa i-minister. How come? So uyazi lapho bese ufike kwenye. So uyaloku iqhubeka njalo ke. Uthe uma ehamba umsholozi. Kwangathi ke izinto zoba ngcono so wathola ukuthi ushayile lapho umoya ku-NPA ufakwe abantu bakhe ama decision aphuma lapho sekuyinto nje corruption wakhona nomjiba angisazi into njengaleyo nobane nomunye uSteven angisazi so kufuneka i-NPA entsha ikhiphe labo bantu either ibapay out ngoba uma ungababambanga abasecourt to prove ukuthi bebe-corrupt ayikho into and akulula always i-decision ezothiwa into Mavuso uphumile you can't argue ukuthi umkhiphe ngoba kumngane wakho so nokususa abantu abadala abehlangene noZuma ufake abayinyuka kwenze ukuthi kuthathe isikhathi
and strategy.
So that is why it's still Uzondo Commission yathi no onke lekena from the evidence esiyitholayo kufuneka mba prosecuted in MP. So I think Kuni, they are still not having staff is strong enough to handle some of these difficult cases. Nabantu bayintshontshile le mali abayintshontshile iningi bathenga ama-lawyer, the best lawyers kanjani. So iphathi ye-problem ke hayi kodwa
that's the difference.
Ingenile corruption. And into ehlupha ngayo it's not just that ukuthi abantu bathatha imali bekufanele ingene wenza into zomphakathi but ubuye uqasha abanye abantu abangazi lutho ukuthi wenza kanjani. Umuntu okufanele akunike asayine ukuthola i-permit yokumayina umenganakulo nje kanasikhathi oqala mhlawumbe uzofika uzokunika manje so sayilungisa uyazi ukuthi ufuna ukunike imali or noma engafuni imali akana appreciation ukuthi as soon as this person gets a permit leyo uyahamba uyaqala uyosebenza order abantu kwenza imisebenzi so i-corruption ihlupha ngaloko much more nale imali ekuthiwa zantshontshwa lot of money but more ukuthi ama-institutions they just collapse them zifaka abantu who are corrupt or abantu who are not competent. So isimo sethu-ke ku-ANC khona manje really is that ayakalume manje wabona makufika ama-PPE la umadona lezinto
kwaba wes
kufike i-PPE uyabona le nto
kahle makune-crisis igain kwabayo
ilenda le nto le u-17 rand
yeah
government beyithenga lapho ngabo 80 rand senzile ukuthi mina wena ngizothi kuyoform igroup yakho ucharge 21 nomunye njalo acharge 35 so usifuna in millions lezinto ukufaka nje i2 rand more kule mali 2 times 1 million usuyi-millionaire lapho so that was going on big time and abantu abayenzayo were connected to the ANC.
I can imagine.
So cool.
Yeah. So Msimang, I was on color we'll go back and forth.
Sure.
Because there's a lot to talk about. I wanted us to also zoom in questioning Dabaye Maxa Kar by ANC just before the new dispensation. Would the ANC be in a plan now to be a ruling party or to be in government? Just to say, because I'll go back to our debts. Because there were debts accumulated from the apartheid government. Yeah, so during Codesa, when there were negotiations, I go a part where you actually talk about they go to the government, Pumana, so you go to Zen or something, because ANC that is why there are still debts accumulating even now.
No.
Sorry.
Normally, let's say the government, ANC, excuse me, ihluleke kulama elections ka 2024. Anyone who wins power
Must take over.
must take over.
It's like buying a car, a used car. So you buy an inking.
Yeah, but also some are good projects. Let's say when a project yamanzi kunabantu abala abayenzayo, the state is financing that project. Izowenzeka, and really, it's not an ANC thing. It's an ANC government thing. It's a government thing. So ama debts amaningi yawa inheritor. But I think ANC could have really bargained very hard, especially with the Western governments. There's support apartheid. Please, ngeke write off lama debt la, or something like that. They did agree, and I don't blame them. Uguti will inherit. We are a government, will take over your debts and so on.
Okay.
And the ANC worked hard, and they cleared those debts within
A few years.
not a year, but within the first term, 5 years later, most of the apartheid debts had been cleared. But Leondo, I'm happy to buza leyo question ngoba abantu baye bacabanga ukuthi nje yonke into kweletu zisuka ne-ANC. No, not at all. So you did have those debts. A plan. There was a document, a pamphlet, which is ready to govern,
Okay, yeah.
Which was-
that one, yeah.
which looked at what is required to govern a country. So they actually had prepared, there were people across the state, government at cabinet level. I think a cabinet yangena lapho was meant by competent people. Kukhona into, I think my listeners are will want this, kwakuthiwa ama-sunset clauses.
Okay.
La kwathiwa ama-civil servants, because they are not political. Civil servants, they're apartheid, anikwa 5 years, especially the senior ones. Ukuthi baqhubeke, they are not just going to be removed because the apartheid government is gone. Okokuqala, really, you need to take over from somebody. You can argue do you need all 5 years, but you need it. So it would also have been illegal to just remove them. So some people sometimes, but ANC was wrong in doing that. I don't think they were wrong at all in doing that. So this is one of the things that happened. But ukuhamba kwesikhathi, ukuhamba kwesikhathi ashintsha kwangena ama-DGs amasha, the black guys, and the first group of DGs were really crack people, really good. So there was a capacity of government. There were strategies, constitution labayigxeka kangaka. Tambo washala phansi wa consult nabantu abanengabe yadevelopa yaze yafika kule nto. It doesn't matter what abantu bahlakaniphile namhlanje bathi a constitution this. The problems we have nothing to do with the constitution. Problems we have something to do, everything to do with poor governance. Ayikho into ngathi because the constitution is forcile ukuthi senze nje, that's why into engekho leyo. I disagree completely. Because even into your land, kwavunyelwana ukuthi clause 25 yale constitution yethu ithi i-government, if it needs any piece of land for the public good. What is the public good? Mhlawumbe ufuna ukwakha umgwaqo, mhlawumbe ufuna ukwakha udevelop izindlu, the township, you want to do. You have a right ukuyothatha lo mhlaba, and you have a right to decide imali ozoyiphaya. You don't pay market rate, you pay imali engaka and so on. Because masekukhuluma iqiniso, although bebe ne-advantage abelungu, umhlaba wethu wathathwa abelungu, there's no doubt about that. But ukuhamba kwesikhathi uMr Botha owathenga iplaza, let's say, ngesikhathi se-apartheid, wakhipha imali walithenga le plaza. Well, when you couldn't buy it, but wakhipha imali walithenga le plaza. Waba nama-installments akufuneka une-bond, a bank and so on. I don't think it's fair to confiscate mahalo. I really think
so
about
willing
that.
buyer, willing seller.
So willing buyer, willing seller, kulezo zinto and so on. But I'm telling you, ukube besine strategy ukuzothi abelungu abaningi baqala ukuinvesta imali ngokwakha izindlu. You find ukuthi la umuntu unama-plot ayi-2 or 3 and so on. Umuhambe uyibheke zonke lezi zinto. You could then go and say wena idwelling yakho uhlala kuyo nansi lezi ezinye uyazirentisa. Ke sikhulume ndoda ukuthi singenze njani ngaleyo ndlu and so on. But you know, we will just not wake up enough to do those things. So kukhona esingakwenzanga properly. Yeah. But I am saying even nezinto uMandela nabanye they compromised on. Funeka nje sihlale sizikhumbuza njalo ukuthi asingenanga uMkhonto sawumacha sawufika ePitoli sakhipha amabhonu sawadlula. No. Kwa-negotiate. Everybody saw ukuthi no, lento ayingaqhubeki. There is more blood esazospilwa la. Amaphono, although they may have been superior in the army, but they knew that there is no way they are going to win this war.
Chaos,
win a war. Even if it took us another 15 years, we would have fought until she told them. So it was a very intelligent and good thing, if we can negotiate against critics. But when you do that, so umntone property yakhe nayo uzosho ukuthi uyabona negotiation yami ukuthi you are not going to touch this, you are not going to touch that. So maybe akhona ama-deal afana nalayo, but none to me of those deals were permanent things. Ongeke ukwazi ukuzicorrecta makulokuhamba umnyaka. The government that came after Mandela's government, I'm sure by that time, like Lama sunset clause, pelili 5 years, no right to tell your father, the best people, not obliged to keep a vandal capacity and so on. So yes, zikhona lezo zinto, but really I think in their struggle people started to be very critical, but bega into zabo. I mean, you know, abantu abacabangi umuntu ahole isalary eyaziwayo, but umbone esephuma nama-Maybach, you know, or uzwa ukuthi unama-flat kuphi and so on. But when all those things started, bekufanele ngathi nathi sivula amehlo. Kube khona lento kuthiwa yini into ukuthi ngibe ne-right yokuzo-check-a ukuthi i-lifestyle audit. Uma ngi-cabinet minister senithola ukuthi ngi-owner le building, singafuneka unisho ukuthi ngenze kanjani, you know. And uThabo Mbeki samtshela kuse-early, manje samtshela thina-ke sasimazi sasinabo ukuthi ndoda, don't go after one person ukuthi esibheke ukuthi wenzani. Just azi umuntu ukuthi uma ngiyi-minister or uma ngiku-NEC, abantu bane-right yokuthi bazongibuza ukuthi bayi-check. Oh yeah, no, you're okay. No, can you explain? Uma we explain that, that's good for you. So lifestyle audit also was not enforced rigidly. Why? Ngoba abantu abaningi who should have also been doing these audits nabo bebekilti ngoba. And also the leadership really was not rigid enough to do that. Abantu, they will always try to dodge. Ilento audit might escape uma ngabe uyithenga ngayo indlu, uyazi ukuthi your friends on uzoshaya certain agreement. So ezinye So it's not easy. You can't solve everything, but at least abantu bashalela phezulu. Don't just do things.
Yeah, because when Kulwang proper planning.
Oh yeah, okay. No, you're planning.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm checking Msimang how after so many years, abantu basa complaining with the very same challenges, service delivery, unemployment,
but
the level of corruption. I mean, you check how. So, what then do we expect more or anything? It's like they call it the psychology of madness. You know, you're actually doing something one and the same thing, expecting
definition of insanity.
Yes.
But you do the same thing over and over
and
again.
then you're expecting different results.
Yeah. No, Lapo, but all of that, honestly, is blamable on corruption. And just really taking your eye off the ball. I don't know and retiring because by distributor everywhere.
Yes. I saw that. Yeah.
It among other things, really, if nihleli man nithi banga zingaki ikolo emakhaya esasebenzisa ama-pitla train, how long would it take before ni fix it enjengale? Kufuneka nibe namanzi, alright, means uzotepha amanzi azokwenza lento. But you just must recognize ukuthi sanitation, iy'ngane ziyalapha umoya umongapha, and you know, and the risk yokuthi iy'ngane ikalatele. A committed government surely can't take 30 years to fix
Yes.
It can't, it's not possible. So, budget, ibisetshenziswa kanjani. Housing, I understand, there is always a population growth, abantu bafuna izindlu, but nakhona, a lot of the houses ezakhiwa in the early days, kofuneka zititshizwe, zibhidlizwe, because they were not done properly, because they were given to some of these crazy people. New tender when you are really not. I even wish ukuthi kwakuthiwe akuthathwe abantu abafana nabo kunene brothers Maponya isho noma ubani abebesokola benza ama-business kuthiwe uyabona abantu bethu kuzokufuneka kube yini and-trainer umuntu othi ufuna imali ka-government, umuntu othi ufuna imali ye-business sizonibhadala mina and so on. But maybe 3 months, maybe whatever. If after 3 months uyayibona lento, uyayazi indaba ye budgeting, uyayazi indaba ye lento financial management, your expenditure inane, nimnike certificate. Umeya lapho uapply ukuthi ngifuna loan ye-BE. Une certificate isibonisayo ukuthi no, I've gone through this and ngayenza lento. Azange bayihluphe ngalo. Instead uzosinika thina soyi-3 la, sihambe siyofuna i-cement nani namanzi. Indlela makufuna siyifixe sifake emgodini. You can't, because it's not ukuthi bekushota imali. Uyinike abantu laba who have no idea ukuthi zenziwa kanjani izinto. So, but I'm ngithi, really, if we were serious about empowering the ordinary person like you, who has to really see how you can put this thing together, because this is a business. Like, see, when you can afford income onayo, but it's a business. ENCA. How does anybody help you to move to start a business? And some of that could have been given free. You pay away government because that's part of the empowerment deal. Yeah? And take the right precautions to train abantu. So, what happened? You end up with Tokyo because bebe ama premier ala bahlala wathi no ngicitha isikhathi la sen connectile nama business. Obo sakhe macazwana abo, you know, all of a sudden abantu aba connected to government kwayibo abanama opportunities okuthola empowerment. So a lot of the big empowerment deals, there's abantu connected to the ANC or who were ANC and so on. So it's not the way you develop Abantu.
So we are going to yeah.
So these things can and should be changed. The only way forward is to change them. That is why angazi ngibuyibona incwadi zami engiyibhalile mangithi ngiyabuyela ku-ANC. Ngibuyela one condition, that bonke labantu abacorrupt aba-identify kwaZonke ukuthi bacorrupt bangabuyeli kuyo-represent i-ANC and so on.
But some of the people, Msimang, when you were seeking attention, so you resigned, you know, which it will cause, you actually position it in a point where you know it trust the elections, and the ANC needs every support in terms of campaigning, and then you just said, okay, ithi basheke kancane bazokwazi ukuthi banginake and all that.
Banginake mina, why mina?
Babona ukuthi ubona ngathi mhlambe awusanakekanga kubo in a way.
But
as a party.
But what sense does it bring you? No. I mean, ngayilalela leyo argument. Why would I need to be seen? What does it benefit me?
You can actually ask that.
No. I mean, Zama, just pretend. We just be in their shoes.
Yeah.
Mavuso uyabona ukuthi kuza ilento. Akasayit so argument ithina angisayithandi ANC.
Yeah, maybe you need to like, because at the same time when you retracted from your resignation, it was like, okay, sekemite ne-NEC kusho ukuthi usethenjiswe imali ezinye mhlambe khona imali asebemnike zona ubaba Msimang yikho sekethi okay, hi guys, because someone will ask you, okay, right, all the things that you mentioned from your letter, ANC ihlulekile ukuzenza in 30 years. So what will change now lately that you actually say, let me retract? Because the issue here on the commission, okay, that is corruption. But let's look at the point in the challenges in terms of Abantu living in shacks. Millions and millions of people are still living in shacks, no employment, and still there's a high level of corruption. So what do you think it will change after, few days you meeting with the NEC? What convinced you that much? This time around they really mean it.
So, kuhle ngoba umngani wami. Ukwazi ukubatshela.
Yeah.
Bhekana kahle statement sami. Mangiphindele emuva. One, yonke lento engibhale ngayo ukuthi lokhuluma ngayo ukuthi ngeke ishintshe overnight. Angisihlelisana istatement sami.
Okay.
So it's there. Ngibuyele kwa-ANC, but the issues engiziraise lapho, they remain, and they remain to be solved. You know what the only difference is? Sathi nje ngalalela kahle noyithuka. Okokuqala abantu babuza ukuthi but all along lezinto bezikhona. It's the same kind of question. But ukuqhubeka ngazo. Why now? What has happened? You know, ngempela into yangishaya la is that still I'm a veteran. I-NEC yaba ne-meeting manje sekuyi 2 months or so ago. Mabe kule meeting bathola i-briefing by labantu abenza i-polling ukuthi abantu bazovota kanjani. And i-researcher yabo, so siwumuntu.
Yeah.
Wathi lo muntu labantu, hey, uma i-voting can take place today, the ANC is over at 36%, not more.
Yeah.
Abaningi. So yini eyenza abantu bangavoteli ANC? The poor service delivery. Yini eyenza abantu bangavoteli ANC? Sizwe kuthiwa abantu manje izindlu ezingabo 17 million or what have you.
At some stage there was an element of arrogance.
Yeah, konke lokho. So, all right. Guys, there is an opportunity ngilalele kahle. Angeke vele ziscrapeke zonke lezi zinto engibhala ngazo and wonke umuntu uyazazi. But ngisaba into A1, ngisabela ANC, ngiyabatshela. How? Do you know ukuthi abantu abasifuni because of bad delivery, but also because of corruption? You all know that the ANC could not corrupt. Here is an opportunity. You know, uZondo wakhipha i-report khona by 97 about the ANC abafika sishiwo kwathiwa kufuneka bayolento bayoprosecute i-NPA, right? The report is out, everybody in the country sees it and so on. Why don't you turn this into an opportunity? There's a first serious step, so we should see about the corruption. We will not allow anyone or tales on about corrupt or potentially corrupt. We won't allow them to represent us in the coming elections. Here is a chance. Kune list yabantu kuthiwa sihleli nabantu abacorrupt. Naba esekushiwo officially in a report yafakwa yi-ANC uZondo just investigate state capture. My investigator state capture bathola abantu abaningi abanye abasiyi-ANC. Kufuneka bathole. Ngithi nansi i-group yenu until iclearishwe lento yabo. It's not even as if we're guilty, but until the cloud yokuthi wena umekanjani, let us make sure that they don't represent us. Instead, there are so many people abaku ANC eningabafaka ukuthi bayorepresent i-ANC. So for me, this would be the beginning of a cleaning up of people in government. Let's say ANC wins 60%, 50-55%. You've got all those people abalapho. Akukho one ongathi but asimboni kahle. You know, uZondo usazwe yakwaZondo, usazwe NPA. So you have substituted abantu aba-decent and abaningi by parliament and they are everywhere. Give them a chance to represent the ANC so that the future government, the ANC, has to color next year at national level and at the provinces. At least we ask, but I can't one ANC but lawyer. Isn't that a reasonable thing? So I'm not dealing with all the problems, I'm a toilet, nani, but we are saying moving forward, we find a new set of people. At least all ngeke kuloba sola bazokunika confidence now ukuthi bazokwenza i-service delivery approach. That is ngithike how? Why don't we do that? Before why don't we do that? Siyakhuluma nabo isengaphakathi.
Yeah. That's right.
And no, they had taken a resolution in April this year, which everybody they must go and report to the Integrity Commission in ANC. What you are buying? Only 5 of them went. I don't know if you guys know them, General. So, 92 people. You have a chance to say to them, they want an instruction from the NEC, start acting now. Ngizo present a case for the ANC, Twala, Banbani, Msimang, nina besithe andokuza lapha anzange nize niya ku-disciplinary committee why ningazanga and so on abanampendulo aba wena ngeke uvunyelwe ukuthi ungene ku-list so follow i-process e-right eshoyo wena ngeke ungene lapha so
okay
so wathi umbalula the Dayz uyelana naye lapha we are willing to do that. We will do that. In fact, ama-veterans angazosiza ukwenza leyo process.
That is this after your letter.
It's after my. Oh yeah. Well, all along, no. They just had no time. No time for it. Kubhekwa ngapha kukhona meeting. Bas tell ukuthi oh yeah, a meeting was postponed. Nothing is happening.
Okay. Now,
Mina really serious. So I just realized that in a position like veterans, deputy president, why should I waste time when we are now? Well, what's going to happen if you don't remove these people about corrupt? Abantu abana confidence, right? So as soon as we cross 50%, like now, onke ama-poll akutshela ukuthi ngeke siye. Mina ngiya-agreesha ngithi uma ningabakhipha labantu
kungayenzeka.
Singabakhipha.
But don't you think Msimang is little too late?
Little too late kanjani?
I mean,
ama-list azobalwa maybe ngoJanuary noma ngoFebruary. Ama-list i-IEC izothi all people abafuna ukuthumela abantu kwi-legislature noma e-parliament must submit their list by the 31st of January. Let's say that.
Yeah. So ANC might not submit a list without those corrupt people that you're saying ANC will reach 50%.
I bet you. Anginayo imali eningi but ingafaka 1,000 rand
ngizokurekhoda Msimang like ngidlala podcast ukuthi mhlawumbe i-recording yakho yokuyisola ukuthi awu ngiyakhumbula ngasho kodwa cha kwenzeka mina ngibona kwami nabanye sibona ngathi it's too late.
Wait, lalela. Unless uthi it's too late ukubakhipha, but ungabakhipha labantu between now and that time, abantu ku-advertise ukuthi nanga ama-delegates, nanga ama-representative azomela
because mina ngokwami Msimang ngayo le ndaba leyo ukuthi resignation and then withdrawing yona nayo ngokwayo iyayuyisi-confident yabantu ukuthi hawu Msimang simthembe kangaka and then there's a statement that
uyayizwa le nto ngisho
cha ngiyayizwa le nto leyo ishoyo singayizama I mean the damage has already been done already and it's too I'm checking the time where my elections where we are right now.
Let's say I'm on May.
Abantu bawumoya usho bazovela bathi oh now go again at least abasusa labantu I think vote people will still standing on the point ukuthi
I am telling you there are so many people want to be ANC abathi siyekele thina mabasike ikundleni i-ANC sizama lento igcwele corruption bagcwele they don't want to go to other parties but they just won't vote. If the right people, let's imagine we are tape and I'm going to show because I'm going to
okay.
But if you X, could you against X? Kono X bana magama makhulu.
Kakhulu.
Yabo. Uma to X disqualify. Mhlawumbe uyiminister lo X.
Yeah.
But kuthiwe because we involved la akeze ukungena lapha. You think when uhamba lapha emgaqweni ngeke usho ukuthi cha labantu baqala ukuba serious ke manje. Kukhishwe even
baqala ukuba serious nini?
Huh?
Nakukho phela abantu kuyarekhoda emayini ukuthi baqala ukuba serious mara nini.
Let's say
It's like uMsimang a student. You'll be writing a matric maphela, but uqala ukufunda ngoNovember. Sonke lesikhathi awuyi esikolweni you expect to pass.
No, I found it very short.
I found.
Uma asiye kwi-rugby ngoba bayawina. Uma kufakwe mina eskimini and abantu bayasho bathi manje yazi uma kungafakwa u-Rich lapha uzodlalwa kusena 3 months away. Uma bengafakwa u-Rich lapha, no, there is a chance ukuthi sizoyiwina lento. Kuthiwa lo asimazi ukuthi ufunani lapha, you know. This is the comparison okufuna kuyenza.
Okay, yona. Abantu bazozithathela isinqumo.
So sebebonile ukuthi hey uphumele lo Mavuso asazi ukuthi wangena kanjani. But futhi une-power. But bamkhiphile. You really don't think you'd be influenced ucabanga ukuthi no ngathi cha is serious like that. Yeah, but in my elections are working tomorrow. I'm on May.
Yeah.
So by the time, say January, February, so we bonile list yabantu be-ANC. Uyayibheka ukuthi how madod for a change ANC akukho ama-big shot nani kunabantu I think many people would be a bit impressed with it. So nina abantu babuka how uphindele ku-ANC. Well, ngiphindele ku-struggle some of veterans against the leadership.
But khona abanye becabanga otherwise.
No, I can understand. Get usho bathini ke abantu.
But ngendaba ye-meeting yakho, I'm not too sure who consulted who in terms of your meeting with Mr. Roger Jardine. Ngendaba ye-change start now.
Yeah.
Ukuthi bekufuna ukuthi
abekufuna yeah very
ukuthi mhlambe ube iphathi yayo. So abantu becabanga ukuthi I mean Roger is known ukuthi unyela unemali imali.
uRoger kanazo imali.
So bathiwa hey baba bafuna ukumeheha ngemali, which it was the statement othe ubambalula as retract. You know, if you remember.
So yeah. So what has happened now? So saying umbalule imali manje ngoba ungasekhathani ya.
So kuthiwa mhlambe ukunika emalini wena wathi hayi noma ungabatshelanga ukuthi kunika imali bathiwa kodwa siyacela ukuya ekhaya. Kahle sikhuluma nje sekunemadlana esicabangela ukuthi sikunike yona. Just ukwenza ukuthi nje ungabaphithizelisi isikhathi sama-election. Njengoba sesondela ama-election. Ungalumuntu.
So senginikwa ANC.
Isunika i-ANC.
Inikwa i-ANC.
Manje suyinika. Angijazi abantu manje. Acabanga ngokubona indlela izinto zenziwa bese bayathuka ukuthi hawu.
Angazi ukuthi ngidefenda kanjani into engingayazi, you know. So of course you can only speculate. Ngiyavuma ukuthi so ayikho yonke le ayenzekanga leyo. Uma uRoger unemali, I think uRoger would have more money than the ANC. I mean, uma ANC.
So uthakana.
No, ngithi.
Umanga.
Nithi mina bathi behamba kuyongena uRoger ngoba uyazi ukuthi unemali. Ngithi are you thinking ukuthi i-counter offer ye-ANC izoba ngcono kunale mali bengizoyithola kuRoger? Phela that's the only thing engizombuyisa. Uyalisho thini? So ngiyekeleni uma ngabe uRoger uzoba
angithi kunana element ama-sentiments ukuthi okay there is money yes kuRoger but ANC sinikeza imali bese bakufilisa, you know, in terms of the sentiments because ANC ama-sentimental
no. Uma ngabe uRoger ufarisha imali ANC ifake uRoger uzofarisha uma umuntu onemali engako.
Kube ngathi iphele le bhola manje kufuneka ngabantu.
I mean this is the Sizwe uMsimang. No, uma imali engiswingile. mali engiyinikwe ANC wabangipromise yona bengathi ku Roger ndoda bafuna hlaba 1 million more.
Hlaba.
I could Roger. So are they now suggesting that the ANC has more money than Roger? Yiwo ibuyele emuva because or abafiki lapho ecabangeni kwabo, because that is one. I don't know what you know. So if imali, that's what it is. Okunye about asazi man, this guy, these things are they've been there all the time and they're not going to be solved, but we'll move on. It's the explanation I'm giving you.
Yeah.
My answer is that explanation. I do believe, I still do, more than you. Okay. If we were able to remove all those people who are seen to be corrupt, I think there would be a big improvement with vote ANC.
Okay.
Because the reason we are losing a vote is because Basbona stayed in Alamada. So Umumasusa, unless bangacabanga ukuthi sifake wena kodwa after my elections this will keep us corrupt. But that is a little too complicated, you know. But now you want to play a role. So I can understand the explanation, but I've now given that in my interviews, which you know, it's the first time, not that the ANC admits to corrupt, that it is saying it is going to make sure that Lavabantu Abakozondo never will. It's the first time. There's a statement that is out. I said, I am a veteran. So they have said it. That's the big thing. They would never have said it. Bapasama resolution, and they never took the first step to make sure that by delivery or about resolution. So these are details I think a person in the street does not know. Le promise of ANC, let us say it's still apart, I'm a veteran, I'll be part of it. These guys are not going to do it. I can tell you that. The agreement ANC would make Maharaj Nami so get an office in Gambalula because he finally acted. Sim drafted a document, sim prepare and to send it, stole a chat sheet, sends it. Don't see looks it. I will go to Izolunga Wednesday, say Lungis. This is the commitment we're making. That's all. When's I need this? No mundo ben shaya la konamaje. No. Before Ngelela, Umto is chairman your DC, disciplinary committee. Then Kulana, years ago, Nyamaz, unfortunately. You think years ago, Mfuna ushoga futhi kufanele senzeni angeke ngimtshele ukuthi athola abantu guilty funeka thola abantu abangamaloya. I've spoken to them since that day, since no link to
okay.
Khona abantu bazo prepare ama charges because that's the only way you can do it. Charges each one of these people. In a template enzoyibuka maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Once I've spoken to Pete Ama list, Abazondo, Abenza report to Abantu Bangwa ANC Abazondo. I've got that now. And he told me only because officially I'm allowed to be part of that Maluna thing. So, with that list, if it works out, Zotol Guti follow far with priority. Amanda Banamaka was influence about Scaling up, challenging our big names. But that guilt has passed away. But Mabu was okay. Let's make sure Scala. So the first release, okay, what is the lendo? So, Bazo Chadwa, They'll be found guilty. It's easy that. But funeka kuthathwe-ke leyo report iyofakwa kwi-NEC. Sihleli simile la. NEC sesivela kwi-DC. Nansi report. NEC abangene listini. Abatshela you are not welcome to be our list. Zonke into encane lezi but esingathatha months uma ungafuni ukuzenza. Uma wakho nje committed. So, right? If NEC inama questions ukuthi no but kanjani because bane right abasiyo nje rubber stamp. No kanjani and so on. We have professional people abazo explain ukuthi nalo and so on. If they are not holding meetings successively ukuze kuphela isikhathi sekune accountability kubantu abafana nami ngoba senazi lo Msimang usethengisa manje but and so on with as agreed Tina nokuthini we are in this thing but ama-delays now afika ngoba i-NEC I meet I'll issue a public statement.
Okay.
To put pressure on them. Also to clear my name. Ukuthi uma ngihlulekile bawukwazi ukuthi ngihlulekiswe yini.
Okay.
We're going to be sure.
Yeah, go on.
It's a set. uMaharaj izolo besesibhedlela so sithe sizokhuluma namhlanje sifinalize uphumile esibhedlela wathi no isikhathi asikho asena wait okunye stage 1 sizosenza namhlanje I've got the list and so on. Then I'm trying to make you understand lezi zinto engizenzayo akekho umuntu ehleli kwi-NEC oyijahayo and so on. So that is why I left, and that's why I went back to do this because no one was going to do it. Maybe a veteran could have done, not maybe, but mhlawumbe ngiyabreka ibathusile into yami uMsimang uyabathusa laba ukuthi uzophuma futhi akhulume lapho bamthathe serious. I mean uyibona ku-ANC angizange ngibone uphuma first item on the news for 2 days. Why?
Because shaky. So, but now there is another challenge for the ANC to even reach that 50% you're talking about. The issue around Mavuso and the uMkhonto.
Realistically, uZuma has a following, especially in KZN. So that will take away votes because he has already said, I guess voted the ANC. So abantu bakhe uzothi bawuvotela lento to uMkhonto wesizwe. So that's certainly a gap. But it can't change our plans. Into ebulala ANC today, ukuthi they are associating themselves too much with corruption. uZuma akakayiclearish izinto zakhe ze-corruption. So to me kungcono uhluleke ukuthola i-50% kunokuthi uthole i-50% nabantu aba-questionable. Then that's it. Wake wathi uMotlanthe uma mhlawumbe i-ANC ifuna ukuthi ihluleke iyohlala lapha kuma-opposition benches. More kubantu and so on. It's not win at all costs. And if lento yami yokuthi ngibuyele ngenza yonke lento because bengifuna abacross, you're right. Ukuvela kwaZuma mhlambe a little bit of Ace Magashule, these will take some ANC votes away, but they must work hard, and I've got confidence. Ukuthi really uma singaphumelela ngale projects bakhiphe abantu. It's like you are fielding your best team, or at least a team engenabo abantu abaqukayo and so on. I think people will see those things and appreciate what kuyazanywa ke. Let's hope it doesn't have this corruption.
So, but then masikhuluma nje ngomkhonto wesizwe, because there's something I understand ukuthi siyazi
the armed wing,
ANC. So,
again,
but for the IEC to even allow them to be a part, I'm not too sure how
no,
that
IEC fanele be neutral.
Okay.
Isebenzisa
For the under
no, it's the ANC that should do that. Kudala le nto kukhulunywa ngayo abantu befuna ukuzireport. That is the time when these people should have jumped up. Uzothi uMkhonto wesizwe was our armed wing, a trademark here. Clearly, this is not it. We, as the leadership of the ANC, NEC, and so on, which has been the highest decision-making body between conferences, we have not taken a decision that uMkhonto wesizwe can be used by anything. We really take strong exception. But angazi uma bebelele until labantu bayi-recorda bayi-register, whether you can pull it out afterwards, I don't know. Phela kufuna kulandelwe into yomthetho. You see, IEC must be neutral. Yeah.
Because it's like you can't register a company with the same name like mine.
Well, except that it's not the ANC. uMkhonto, it was finished. Umuntu angathi nje for sentimental reasons. Nami uMkhonto nami, and ngifuna ukuthi uMkhonto wesizwe. I don't know, my lawyer will deal with this thing. But I just say IEC, if they started objecting to this, is why IEC is controlled by ANC. And it would not be fair.
Yeah. Now, Msimang, me and you, we always talk, but I want us to talk more after my elections. So see, digest and really review as to what really happened then, you know. But we're just hoping for the best for the ANC, with, bated breath, looking good. I want to join that.
Sure.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming on Happy Days on podcast and really, explaining certain things that listeners understand and just making sure that, because you always want an encyclopedia of making things for us as Bantani to understand exactly what is going on.
Oh, yeah, well, thanks for those nice words about me and so on. Manje ngifuna ukuthi nami ngibone ukuthi ngiyayithola yini yami imali. Mabe siyayicrossa i-50%.
Ama cross 50% ngiyakubiza nami ngiyasho ebantwini ukuthi ngiyakhumbula eshini.
Uma ngihluleka ukuyicrossa mina ngizokunika imali.
Yes. Siyabheja. On record. Yeah, on record. Siyabheja.
But sithe uma sibheja sathi onkhunjuzwe wuye kusekungena abantu bakaZuma.
Yeah.
Sekukhona abo-Ace Magashule.
Yeah.
Abaphuma from the ANC. They may be a factor.
Yes.
Ekwenzeni lento. So
headache nje uZuma for the ANC.
But sizobe sibona nama-reports in the build-up ukuthi if ngempela by the end of this year, after Christmas, sesi-ready ne-list, siyimemezele kubantu. It will be because of what you were overhearing.
Yes, it's really.
So, from, let's say, the 5th of January, 10th of January, ANC itshela abantu ukuthi no one, mhlawumbe ufuna ukubaphoxa abantu, but bona sewubatshelile labantu ukuthi unqualified. But the ANC, of course, must then produce its list. Abantu bazobona le list babona ukuthi yeah, nangempela. You can dramatize people and say Sbanban wayebulento Sbanban, especially if you want to hit the big ones. Kone Mantashe ubelapha usethe yena akekho available for lento.
Yeah.
Siyambonga kakhulu. Yeah, omunye
beke kahle.
Yeah, abanye sithele because kunjani abangeni. This is what I am spending my time doing since ngiqalele nonsense engiqalile. It's got nothing to do. No one. Why would I only take money now? All along,
you had all the chance.
khona into enye la ethi uMavuso uma ese-Home Affairs wayenza ithenda nogijima kakhulu.
Remember Kichima?
kwakuyi-1.9 billion rand le tender yakhona ngemhla ka-31 kuDisemba 2005, 2006. Hayi bahlangana ebusuku bayikhuphula le tender yahamba yoba ngu-2.5 billion. Mavuso-ke loyo nimbheke manje esekhuluma kangaka. It's speculating izogcina ifikile kubo manje ngibona ngakuthumela nayo. But that's what happens when you stand for principles. Amasela azothi senginikwe imali. They are not forced to provide proof. Bayakaka nje, no one will say anything. And ngeke baze baziveze amagama. Kungayi gossip. I name names.
No, I thank you so much, Msimang. And we are wrapping up Happy Days. We're going to be coming back, that is year 2024, we're just going to be off for a few weeks. And then coming back with Doc Shebele's.
Okay.
Just to go to the musical. All right, We're wrapping up and out.
Subscribe and become a member of the biggest family, the Happy Days on Podcast family.